Jeff, but feeling high. Whoop, Mr. McCrum,
Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Hey, it's not just a podcast anymore. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween, Dustin. Welcome to Fueled by Death Show, everybody. And if you're joining us tonight when this is going out live, Happy Halloween. Hopefully we're hitting the airwaves just before the trick-or-treaters hit your door. So it's might be a little bit of entertainment before
I suppose it depends on where you are in the country, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, even on the East Coast, when we go out at 7 p.m., I never really started around that. Maybe
I don't remember.
I usually waited until it got a little bit darker, a little around 8 or 9.
Yeah, it can't be like sunlight out. But if you're on the West Coast and you're listening to this now, it's probably nice and sunny and
It's true.
No trick-or-treaters, and you just cuddle up close with the puppy and watching us. What's up?
It's true. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're happy that you're here. This is the companion show to episode 98 of the podcast, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. As always, I am the Incredible Jeff.
And I'm a fucking Viking.
Says the amazing D-Man. Yeah, we wanted to get in the spirit. We're in costume all show because it is our Halloween. It's the show that comes out on Halloween, so it's our Halloween show.
I think we have appropriate costumes.
Yeah, Viking and a wizard.
Yeah.
I think it's very...
It kind of
it's kind of on brand, right?
Yeah, and it also represents our dichotomy pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I'm magical and you're destructive.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's super easy. It's located at the bottom of the screen throughout the entire show. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin. And don't forget to give our good friend at Real Christian Slater a follow while you're there.
I hope one day he is our good friend.
He is a good friend.
I mean, I really hope that someday I can be like, Christian, my friend.
We got to get him on the show, right?
I know, really. Like, we really
If anybody
do.
knows Christian Slater, let him know.
Please follow him and then let us know. We found out, remember, it's at Real Christian Slater on Instagram, but if you're over on Twitter, it's just at Christian Slater. It's a little even easier. Make sure you give him a follow. And if this is your first time joining the show, here's the drill. Every single show, we try to give away something cool to one lucky comment in the comments after the show is over. This show is no different. We're giving away a 2018 VALHALLA lava mug.
I want to bless it with my axe so bad.
I mean, you could do it very, very lightly. There. Phew. All you got to do is share this show and drop a comment in those comments during the show. Join the conversation. We got a ton of fun people in the comments right now, and I'm sure more will be joining us as the show keeps it continuing on. One lucky comment at the end of the show will be picked, and they will get this 2018 VALHALLA Java mug. This is our year-long mug, so there's no number on the bottom, but Dustin and myself will sign the bottom and send it right out to that lucky winner.
Year long, but the year's almost up.
It is, and we're going to have a brand new VALHALLA Java mug after that.
And pretty soon, you won't be able to get this one anymore. And you'll be like, why didn't I get that one? Why didn't I make that comment on that show?
I love that lava glaze. It's just, it's so, so good. And for you guys who are fans of VALHALLA Java and Zach Wild, we've got some special stuff in store coming up a little bit later in this show, so stick around for that. But first, foremost, and always, I got to thank our good friend Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com!
He's the voice actor on this show and 1,000 voices out there in the world. Make sure you go check him out. Follow him on social media at BrockVox, not at Real Christian Slater. That's Christian Slater. If you want to follow BrockVox, that's at BrockVox. Don't get confused.
Just follow everybody we're talking about.
Yeah, just follow everybody. And stick around for the show. Like I said, we've got a sneak peek of the guest this week, which does have a little bit to do with Zach Wild. We've got our Death Star of the week, some fun science news. I got 2 stories for the price of 1. And we're going to roast Halloween, because why wouldn't we? Because it's Halloween. And we have even more Zach Wild news on the updates. You're going to want to stick around to the end of the show for that as well.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week, and this week only until Wednesday, November 7th, you can get a 15% off of all VALHALLA Java coffee products with the discount code JACK. Jeff, spell it.
Super easy. JACK.
And that means Odin cups, that means 5-pounders, that means 12 ounces, anything Valhalla Java and coffee related on deathwishcoffee.com. You can use this code until Wednesday, November 7th to get 15% off of it. What is it again, Jeff?
Jack.
Oh, it's Jack.
I do apologize. I was just trying to do a bunch of counting to screw you up, and I think I just flipped off everybody. So I wasn't really.
You're
trying
a bad wizard.
Wasn't trying to flip everybody off. Yeah, Jack, 15% off all Valhalla coffee all week long. Get you in the mood for some super awesome Zach Wild stuff on this show and in the next couple shows as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, get excited for that, guys. 15% off all week long.
So excited.
Science!
All right, so on science this week, D-Man, I got 2 stories for the price of one. And for those of you who are just tuning into the show, I do want to remind you that this is our Halloween show. Dustin and myself have not went absolutely crazy, and this isn't like us now. We just decided to dress in costume because this is coming out on Halloween.
Why can't it be us now?
I mean, if you want to rock this every single day, I'm behind you 100%.
Dude, that's a badass cloak. Why wouldn't you want to rock that every day?
It's hot.
You're hot, buddy.
Thanks. And the show's over. But yeah, so 2 different stories. And one of them I saw come across, and I thought it was an Onion article. And it's not. It's real. NASA has given an official constellation to Godzilla.
Oh!
And Godzilla, as everybody knows, I thought this was very Halloween appropriate too, because Godzilla, as everybody knows, is one of the most famous movie monsters, a Japanese cultural icon. Back in the 50s, he started out I believe the idea was they were testing nuclear weapons off the coast of Japan, and which woke the beast who was sleeping underneath the waves, and he came and terrorized Japan for a while, and then fought Tyrannosaurus Rex and Gamera and Mothra and all these other people.
I can't tell if he's a bad guy or a good guy.
He's both.
Oh.
He's both.
I'm not.
Like,
I don't want this gray area bullshit.
He's
Just
gray area.
draw some lines. Tell me what's good and what's bad.
But thanks to NASA, Godzilla has his own constellation. NASA figured, and this is what it's so great. Like, these are real scientists, real people doing real things, and then they take time and they're like, you know what? You know who needs a constellation? Godzilla needs a
They're
constellation.
real nerds too.
Yeah. Basically, Godzilla's weapon is his heat ray. You've seen it. You know, he's firing it right there, and it's kind of like this gamma radiation that he emits. So NASA drew that to parallels of gamma rays in the universe, the rays that are emitted from black holes and neutron stars. So the Godzilla constellation isn't made up of stars. It's an astronomic artwork formed by gamma rays and gamma ray clusters. NASA's Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope, launched in 2008, is marking its decade in service by establishing 21 gamma ray constellations. Similar to how stargazers made, constellations out of stars, these are just places where these gamma radiation, these gamma emissions are happening. There's a little bit of a better one where it's showing you in different galaxies where these different clusters are happening, and they kind of crudely drew out a Godzilla cluster, which I thought was really, really cool. And this isn't the only one, speaking of nerds that work at NASA, that are in these 21 different clusters. There's also now a Star Trek Enterprise constellation. There's a TARDIS for Doctor Who fans out there. And even no gamma ray constellation would be complete without the Incredible Hulk. And so the Incredible Hulk has a gamma ray constellation as well.
Weird. Even NASA knows that Star Wars sucks.
Oh, there's no gamma rays in Star Wars. Yo.
What? How is there no gamma rays in Star Wars?
Maybe there are. I don't know.
There are. You're just trying to make excuses for Star Wars. Stop excusing Star Wars, Jeff.
All right. But I thought that was really fun. Like I said, I saw that article come across, and I was like, that's not real. And then I started looking it up, and it's on NASA's website. It's just great. So that you can look up into the night sky and see where Godzilla reigns supreme up there.
Thank God.
Just like he should.
Everything I was always hoping for.
Yeah. So my second part actually is, now we went all the way into space. Now we're going to go all the way to the bottom of the Black Sea. The oldest intact shipwreck has been found in the Black Sea. Marine archaeologists from the Black Sea Maritime Archaeology Project have discovered this vessel. It's an intact Greek ship dating back 2,400 100 years.
Dude, that's
and
crazy.
if you can see from this photo that I'm putting in here as well, I'm also going to sync a little bit of video in there of them finding this kind of stuff. It is almost fully intact, which is incredible. The ancient ship is over 75 feet in length, most likely a trading vessel, and it lies in over 1.2 miles of water deep in the Black Sea. Now, this is where science gets cool. Because it's that far down in the Black Sea, water is anoxic or oxygen-free. So that can preserve organic material like wood for thousands and thousands of years. And that's what's really neat. So that means that this ship was from roughly around 400 BC. That's when Plato was alive.
Wow.
And it sat at the bottom of the Black Sea along with dozens of other wrecks that they found from varying different time frames. And the group says the ship of this design has only ever previously been found in artwork, such as on the very famous Siren Vase. And it's called the Siren Vase is because it depicts from the Odyssey.
Yep.
It's what's his name there? Odysseus getting tied to the front of the ship as they're going by the sirens because they're singing their songs to try to lure the sailors in there, and he's tied to the front of the ship. And the way that ship looked, we've never found one in reality. So we thought maybe
so
it was just an
crazy.
artistic interpretation of a ship. But now we know for a fact this is a real ship.
Do you think it could be the very ship from the artistic depiction?
Maybe.
Because we've never found another one like
Never
it.
found another one like it. The reason being is
And they're not
because
like mass producing these things where every ship looks alike, right?
they were, and that's the thing. Is the reason being is they were mass producing them, especially if they were trading vessels. If they perchance sunk, lots of them would sink in shallow water, so therefore cut to 2,400 years later, they're gone.
Yeah.
Or they never sank, and they just withered away, or were broken down for whatever, to
So the
build.
only way one would still be around
in
is from
this
being
condition.
this anoxic condition.
Yeah.
I wonder if once they start bringing pieces of the ship up, if it'll start breaking down because it hits oxygen.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest questions right now is how are they going to bring this up and preserve it? There's a lot of stuff that they found down there, not only ships, but parts of town, lots of pottery, lots of different artifacts that obviously are museum quality. That
I mean, there's got to be a bunch of gold down there, right?
I hope.
I mean, I was just hearing about how billionaires fund these searches.
Yes.
They pay these guys to find these ships because they find tons of gold. I think one time they found like $14 billion in gold in one of the searches. It's insane.
Yes.
It's insane the amount of gold that and some of these guys, some of these divers find it and take off.
Right.
And there's actually a lot of lawsuits out there.
Yeah, because depending on where you find it, it's sometimes, it's the country of origins gold then. If you found it there,
weird.
so you're breaking international laws sometimes if you're stealing that kind of thing. Treasure hunting is very weird. There's some really cool History Channel shows on treasure hunting that really delves into that kind of stuff.
I'll just keep on watching National Treasure on repeat.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
Assume that I know everything.
Black Sea Maritime Archaeological Project principal investigator Professor John Adams actually said a ship surviving intact from the classical world lying in over 1.2 miles of water is something I would have never believed possible. This will change our understanding of shipbuilding and seafaring in the ancient world. And that's pretty cool because that's this dude's job. And he's like, this shit we just found changes my job forever.
Wow.
That's crazy. And never in a million years would he have thought he would have found a specimen this intact and this preserved.
So he's probably the most stoked person about this.
Totally. And like he said, when we are able to excavate it to whatever degree, we're going to be able to really delve into the data and find out some stuff we never knew about the ancient world, the ancient trading. Because remember, the Black Sea, where that is like a hub of just, everything back in that time,
Yeah.
Everybody was crossing that to get from point A to point B or point B to point A. So, there was tons and tons of stuff happening that we don't even know about because unfortunately a lot of those records from that time period were lost in when the library burned down in Alexandria.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we are just starting to uncover that stuff again by finding things like that.
Yeah, I bet when they find this stuff, they must be able to uncover a lot of history that we didn't know before.
It's so cool.
This is so cool.
Yeah. So
good find, Jeffrey.
So yeah, so two different stories, but two really fun science topics this week.
Cool.
Good, good. It is a fully operational Death Star of the week.
Okay, guys, so it's that time again. One more time, I'm going to say, like I say every week, if you're not a fan or a friend of the official Death Wish Coffee Company community page over on Facebook, get on it, because it is a community of 4,000 people strong right now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
All brought together by their love of this little company we call Death Wish and the coffee that we produce. And I try to feature one of them each week so everybody out there in watching the show can meet them in person if you've never met them before. And like every other week, this is no different. This week, you're going to meet Ian Albert. And if you've never met him over on that page, you're going to meet Ian right now. Ian, let's start at the beginning then. You kind of mentioned it already. You've been a fan of this company for almost 4 years. How did you find out about Death Wish Coffee? Where did you hear about the company first?
So it's kind of a funny story, and I know a lot of people probably share a similar story, but I was drinking coffee from one of those big box corporate stores.
Yep.
And it just wasn't cutting it enough for me, and I would always have them add extra espresso, and it just didn't seem to really fulfill me.
Yeah.
Get me going, and for as long as I would have liked. So I went online and I Googled what's the strongest coffee I can legally buy, and I was kind of curious, and Death Wish Coffee #1, and so I'm like, what the hell? I'll give it a try, and I didn't really. I hate saying this now, but I didn't really expect much.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be, something that tastes just like used motor oil kind of thing. And when I got the Death Cups and brewed my first cup, and I was extremely surprised, and I've been hooked ever since. So
That's awesome. And honestly, that is a story that I hear a lot, and we still get it to this day, because you come out of the box as a company like Death Wish Coffee, the first thing everybody thinks is like, fuck you. That's not like whatever. Like, you're not the world's strongest coffee. And the other side of it is every time, especially when you go to those big box stores, anytime that they slap a strong sticker on a cup of coffee, it tastes like motor oil. It tastes like burnt coffee. And, that's why I'm really proud of this product, because we turn people around, after that first sip, which is awesome. So before you found Death Wish up until now, did it change your coffee intake? How much coffee do you drink a day, you think?
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm at about 3 cups a day.
It's good.
I keep it kind of lower than, some of the other people on here.
Mm.
But, about 3 cups. Is good enough.
Yeah.
And I usually, I ran out of the Saratoga brand, but usually like a Saratoga with like a vanilla, like something kind of like more of a nightcap type coffee.
Yep.
But for Death Wish, about 3 cups a day.
Awesome. And what's your go-to brewing method?
So my #1 brewing method is Chemex.
Yes.
That's the pour over method. Is it's a foolproof plan, and I feel like I get a really good flavor out of it, and it's easy to clean up, easy to use, and it's quick. So when I got like 5-10 minutes to get out the door to go to school or head to work, it's something that I can just throw together real quick and get a good cup of coffee out of it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the Chemex too. I don't know if you've seen the guys over at the warehouse have been posting photos and videos. They got the new setup that's like the robot pourer for the Chemex. Have you seen this thing?
I have not.
You basically put your Chemex under. It almost looks like a fountain kind of thing, and it does a perfect pour over every single time. So you're not sitting there with a kettle. It heats the water. They're a little pricey, but they got it over there to test it, and it just fascinates me. They're constantly making something that's that cool even cooler. You also not only are enjoying the coffee, but I'm sure you probably are collecting the mugs as well. Am I right?
I've been collecting since my first order.
So what was the first mug you got?
First mug I got was it was the 2015 the Traveler, the Black Traveler.
Wow. So cool.
Fell in love with it. I've been collecting the Travelers since. So yeah, I got the red one. I got the blue jean one. It's honestly one of my favorite mugs.
So is there a favorite mug outside of that, or is that your favorite mug?
I have a couple favorite mugs. One more for show, and it's the Valhalla tankard that I got. It was not naming any names, but it was given to me, and it really holds a special place in my heart because it's one of the unicorns that I was looking for, and people pulled through and made it happen for me. So extremely special, from the people in the community to the people that you work with. It's it's more sentimental for me than
That's awesome.
that you can just buy. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I this community, it's pretty special. It really is.
everybody takes care of everybody.
Yeah. So final question then. You've been a fan of this company for a handful of years now. You've seen all the different stuff that we've done, whether it be mugs, whether it be, sponsorships, whether it be the different types of merchandise that we do. Is there anything that we haven't tried that you want to see us try?
And I know this has been coming up a lot with a lot of people, but I'm all about comfort, and I would love to see some Death Wish pajamas.
Pajamas. Me too. Me too. Oh, man. I think I keep saying, we've done a lot of apparel, and we've got stuff for you to go to the gym. We got stuff for you to be in a snowstorm, but we don't have stuff to just kind of bum around and be comfortable. I think Death Wish pajamas should 100% be honored in the future. 100%.
Right on.
Oh, that's awesome. Ian, I cannot thank you enough for taking time and talking with us on the Death Star this week. It was absolute pleasure to have you on.
Well, I'm glad to finally talk to you guys. I know we've connected through Facebook and through other social medias, and I feel very fortunate to have been the recipient of a few prizes, but this being able to connect with you guys is right up there.
Awesome.
I feel to be here and be a part of this community still. Over 4,000 strong on the page, and I just want to say to mugs up to all you guys, and hopefully one day I'll be making other see you guys.
Yes. Awesome, man. Well, thanks again.
The Fueled by Death guest.
So, this week on the show, we have a big celebration. We've got rock and roll photographer Dustin Jack on the show. In the picture that you can see him in right now, he's being pictured with Father Zakk Wylde, because he's photographed Zakk a ton. Not only has he photographed Zakk a bunch, he's photographed some of the most iconic rock and roll artists and metal artists out there. And we talk about his career doing that, and also his career being a photographer for something completely different.
Completely different.
He has worked a lot for auction houses and has gotten those really nice photos to, put the thing up on an auction block. But some of the craziest stuff in the world, like we talk about photographing Elvis's jumpsuit.
Or Abraham Lincoln's hair.
Crazy stuff. And what a cool career. What a cool dude. And we've got him on the show this week because this week at Death Wish Coffee, we are doing a super special, very limited release of a Valhalla Java mug along with a print from Dustin Jack, a photo of Zakk Wylde that Dustin himself took. And the proceeds of that are going to help out the St. Jude Children's Hospital. And we'll get to more info on that later in the show. But I want to give you guys a sneak peek of tomorrow's podcast with Dustin Jack right here. So it's got to be such a different medium because, I mean, from photographing a painting or a book to photographing, obviously, movement. And you are, in my humble opinion, one of the best rock photographers out there.
Thank you.
And, I mean, your praises are sung far and wide from people like Phil X and Zach Wilde and Lita Ford and all these people. And it's because you're able to capture something that's happening, you know, in like that. Like, because, I mean, we've all been to rock shows. I mean, like, there are 1,000 amazing moments, but they go by in a split second, and you're able to capture that. How did you become proficient at that? Is it just trial and error, or are you looking for specific things?
Well, yes to both of those, but also those people are magic on their own. I'm just there to make sure people know about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the magic exists. I'm just there to sort of get a brief moment of it. And I think a lot of what I do is sort of in the after processing, you know, to make it that special.
Yeah.
But again, you know, I get to work with some of the most talented and amazing people on the planet, and I'm usually requested. So it's pretty humbling to be able to say I can do that.
That's incredible. I know from experience, and I know, Dustin, you know this from experience too. You've actually worked photo pits before.
They're crazy.
Is there been, like, what's the biggest obstacle for a rock photographer? Because a lot of people think, and wrongly so, that you just show up, you take a shot, you go home, you put it in Photoshop, and oh my God, Zach Wilde looks amazing. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, what's the biggest obstacle working a photo pit?
Honestly, I don't have to personally work with the biggest obstacles. I'm really spoiled.
Oh, that's great.
And I will say that right up front, because there's people that have to really hustle, and they work their asses off to get qualified, to get access, to be down there. And it's, dude, I mean, you guys know, it's 3 songs usually.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, you get 3 tunes to shoot your ass off and get out, and they yank you out. It's not like you get to hang out and watch the show usually.
Yeah.
Like, they put the photographers out and you go home. So you spend all day for 9 minutes. You know, those guys really work their ass off. While I have done that, I don't typically have to, because if I'm working for Zach or if I'm working, you know, with Nikki Sixx or whoever it is, they have me there for a specific reason, and I usually get a little bit more access, and I can kind of do what I need to do to get them the shot. So I'm spoiled in the sense that I'm requested.
Happy birthday! Surprise! I'm naked.
All right, birthday time this week. Got only a couple this week. So Saturday, November 3rd. I can't believe we're still in November.
A Viking after my own heart.
Yes, turning 61 years old. Dolph Lundgren.
Has he ever played a Viking on the big screen?
I don't know. Put
He
it in
really
the comments
should.
if you know. I'm sure he has. He's had such a long career.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like,
probably some like shitty B movie that he ended up on where he was a Viking.
I
But
love the resurgence of his career because
so
I
good.
mean, when I was a kid, he was in He-Man.
he was the Punisher.
He was the Punisher. He fought Rocky, you know, and now with the Expendables movies, you know, and everything.
What was that Cyborg movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Cybernetic Warrior. You know what I'm talking about? He was in that. That was awesome.
Something Soldier.
Oh,
Man, you guys have got it. I know you got it. Jesus. Universal Soldier.
Whoa! Good job, Jeff.
But yeah, Dolph Lundgren's having a great time, and I can't wait for Creed 2. Here's a photo of him actually when he fought Rocky the first time, and there's a photo of him today.
Oh man, science is
Science,
an amazing
yo.
thing.
But yeah, Creed 2, that first Creed movie with Michael B. Jordan, I went in being like, you know, we'll see how good this is.
Good.
So good. They're revitalizing the Rocky franchise. And now, of course, the sequel, you got to bring Dolph Lundgren's character
What's
back
he gonna
in.
do?
Dolph Lundgren's character, his protege, is now going to fight, Creed's son. Yeah.
Whoa, the next generation.
So it's like the next generation. It's like all the throwbacks and everything. So Sly and Dolph are both in it. And
Are they gonna? They're gonna fight each other.
no, they'll probably.
No, they're gonna fight. Look at him. He didn't get in shape to keep that shirt on. He's popping that off.
I
They're
hope so.
battling. You
I
know
hope
it.
so.
You
I
know
hope
it. We're gonna have 2 70-year-old dudes beating the crap out of each other. It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh man, I love it. And well, happy birthday to him on Saturday.
Sorry, 60-year-old dudes.
On Sunday, November 4th, friend of Death Wish Coffee Company, Mr. Stephen Ogg, is turning 45 years old. You might know Stephen from his myriad of different roles, First of all, he is Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Main character there. He voices the whole thing. So if you ever played that game, you spent a lot of time with Stephen Ogg, which is a scary thing to say because this dude is crazy.
He's awesome.
But you might recognize him from a show called Westworld, where he was the milk-drinking criminal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot he was in Westworld.
He was in there for a minute, and stuff happened. And also, probably the role he's most known for now
The Walking
is
Dead.
Part of Negan's crew on The Walking Dead there.
He plays such a bad dude. He
Yeah.
plays such a good bad dude.
Yeah.
Such a bad good? No. I don't know.
I mean,
He's awesome.
Which is crazy to say when you've got somebody like Stephen Ogg, chewing through a scene as a bad guy and being so good at it. And then in walks Jeffrey Dean Morgan and does the same thing, and neither of them lose anything from
Not
it.
a bit, yeah.
It really shows what good casting can do for a show, for sure. So happy birthday to Steven on Sunday. Finally, on Wednesday, November 7th, very, very funny. Adam Devine is going to be 34 years old. Adam and his buddies started a little comedy troupe called Mail Order Comedy, I want to say late 90s. And, we're just starting to get into the internet craze, and through hard work and good luck was able to parlay what they did into one of Comedy Central's biggest shows at the time.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Which was Workaholics. And since then, he has starred in many different movies, like the Pitch Perfect franchise, that movie with Zac Efron, where it was based on the true story from the guys from Troy who went to a wedding and wanted to get dates. It was the name of the characters. So such and such and such and such need dates was the name of the movie.
Oh, I've never seen it. Never seen it. Is
and
it
then
good?
it was pretty funny. And that movie on Netflix, what the heck was it called? Where the three guys from Workaholics were in
Game
it.
Over, man.
Game Over, man. Man, that was funny.
It was. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love, fart jokes and stupid humor.
and
but
you get to see this man's
you
penis.
sure do. But he loves what he does, and you can tell whenever he does that kind of stuff because he's really funny at it. So happy birthday to him, and a happy birthday to everybody this week.
I smell a roast.
All right, so before we get into the roast, everybody, I just want to give you one more chance. If you haven't yet, share this episode if you're watching it live and drop a comment in those comments. Join the conversation. One lucky comment after the show is over will be picked to win the 2018 Valhalla Java mug. Dustin and myself will sign it and send it right out to you. I promise he will not break it with his axe.
You can't make that promise.
If he does, they're not numbered, and I'll just give you another one.
Oh, that makes me want to smash it even more.
Okay, so guys, if you're watching this the day this comes out, once again, happy Halloween. It is one of my favorite times of year, probably my favorite holiday.
Yeah, it's definitely the best holiday, right? For
Exactly.
at least Death Wish employees.
And the last couple times that we've done shows in or around a holiday, we've used the roast as a time to kind of go through it. And the entire month of the Fuel by Death show, if you guys missed the last couple weeks, I've been keeping the theme of Halloween throughout all the roasts and roasting little parts of it throughout it. And this time we're just going to roast the tradition on a whole. Because last week we talked about trick-or-treating, and in that we talked about how there was this ancient Celtic holiday, and I was corrected on how to pronounce it during the show. It's pronounced Samhain. It's written Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. It's the ancient Celtic holiday where people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. This would happen traditionally around October 31st or November 1st. The reason why is they celebrated their new year this time. And that totally makes sense because it was the end of harvest and the beginning of winter. So it was kind of like death and rebirth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they believed that the boundary between the living and the dead, the worlds of the living and the dead, were blurred at that time. So the dead could roam the earth. So it was that whole idea of spooky and kind of appeasing your dead and that kind of thing. And then during the 8th century, when Christianity started to, kind of push out, the pagan, holidays and that kind of stuff, Pope Gregory III declared November 1st All Saints' Day to kind of honor that tradition. And the evening before was referred to as All Hallows' Eve. Now you can see how Halloween kind of came into the lexicon from that. And then when the tradition came to America, it was extremely limited to in New England because of the strict Protestant communities that peppered New England at the time. It was very popular in Maryland and in some of the South because it wasn't as strict and Protestant at that time. And it was weird back in the colonial times, like colonial times, and then or even the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was weird. I mean, that's super creepy. I mean, it just it gets to be only in the 50s, like we talked about last week, where Halloween, like we know it today, becoming the Halloween that we know. The telling of stories of the dead and harvest parties started to become more commonplace. And then when the Irish immigrants, again, like we talked about on prior roasts, when the Irish immigrants came over to this country, they helped shape this holiday in specific much, much more because their traditions of having parties on the harvest, of trick-or-treating, going door to door and singing songs and wanting soul cakes and that kind of thing, and carving gourds, which they then came over here and found pumpkins and making jack-o'-lanterns, all that kind of got roped into it, and then we kind of started to coalesce into what Halloween is today.
Just blurring all the lines.
Of course. Today, Americans spend $6 billion annually on Halloween festivities. Wow. That makes it second only to Christmas.
Wow, that's insane.
It is really insane. Some traditions have been actually forgotten or not used as much anymore. Like I said, we got away from a lot of that pagan stuff, even the earlier colonial times.
We should get back to some of those, like bonfires and shit.
Exactly, like big bonfires. That's not a big thing anymore. Another thing that I didn't know is Halloween was centered around a romantic idea for unmarried women.
Ooh.
There are many different traditions about this, and some of them focused on the reassurance that if a woman was unmarried this Halloween, that she could do different practices or different traditions to ensure that she would fall into love and be married by next Halloween.
Sorry. No.
No. Oh, please. What were you going to say?
Well, were those things making her prettier?
Heyo.
I didn't want to say it. He made me say it.
One such tradition was to name chestnuts, and then of the names of wanted suitors, guys that the girl would like to end up with, and then throw the chestnuts, place them in the hearth or place them in the fireplace, and then watch them burn. And then the chestnut that would burn to ash, completely to ash, that would be the name of the man that she would eventually end up with.
How would they know which one it was? Because it was burned to ash.
You'd put them, that's what I mean. You'd place them, okay, so John is here, and
Jeff is
Jebediah
here.
is here, and Jeff
Dustin's
is here. Yeah. So like you kind of see it.
I burned the brightest, by
which
the
is
way.
weird. Another tradition was a special sugary dish was concocted that a woman would eat before she went to bed on All Hallows Eve, and then in the hopes that she would dream of her future husband. Which, to me, if any of you guys out there have had a bunch of candy before you go to bed, I usually have nightmares. Because your mind is just crazy at that point. Or you're not falling asleep because you're on a sugar rush.
Right.
So it's kind of odd. Also, another one that I heard about, which was crazy, is the woman on Halloween would sit in front of the mirror and wish to see the reflection of the man she was going to marry come into the mirror. And this actually was born from wanting to see your dead loved ones in the mirror. People would do that back in the day, and
that must have worked once to start this off, right?
It might have been. And this is that tradition too that I'm sure you might have played it at parties or whatever.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Or which was popularized even further with the Candyman movies.
Right.
But that same sense where you're kind of and I've done it, and I got freaked out before because you're in like it's usually a bathroom,
Yep.
and like all the lights are off, and you go Bloody Mary.
And you've
Bloody
been
Mary.
talking about it with your like 5 friends
Right.
staying up late.
And if nobody's a dick,
and there's always one friend that's like, oh yeah, I did it once, and oh my friend saw a red light, and
Yeah.
it's always something, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's just I think back on it, and the times that I got freaked out the most, it was not when somebody was a dick, when you really tried to do it, and you were really quiet, and you said Bloody Mary for the 3rd time, and you look in that mirror, and your eyes play tricks on you because it's dark. You're seeing a reflection of yourself in the darkness.
Yeah, you're on mushrooms.
You're that one too, but yeah, you know, it can be a little freaky. But those are like some random weird. I didn't know that Halloween had so much to do with romance at one time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you?
You know, it makes sense because it's right before they have to start like wearing way too many clothes to present themselves correctly. You know,
I guess, but I mean, if you go back to like.
even Halloween today is still kind of like a mating tradition where it's the last day women get to dress scantily before it gets too cold.
Goodness. But I mean,
Come on, Jeff, bring us through.
but I mean, I get what you're saying, but go back to like, you know, the time of like the Scarlet Letter and the Salem witch trials and shit like that. Everybody had way too many clothes on all the time.
It's a relative basis, Jeff. You know, a turn of an ankle is all you needed back then.
That's true. Oh yeah, she's showing some ankle over
She's
there.
showing some ankle. Did you see her wrist?
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Oh!
Do you guys have any weird traditions in your family, or any weird Halloween stuff, you know, that you've done? I'm trying to think. I really don't, like, tradition wise. Like, we were pretty much the normal American family. I would get my costume as a kid and go out. Like, we talked about it last week with the trick or treating. Like, I'd go out trick or treating every year. And
My parents would always have these big Halloween parties, like
Really?
big, and like invite the whole family over.
Oh,
And then my mom
cool.
got really into putting on like prosthetics and painting those, and so we would all have like wicked costumes. And I remember we would set it up so the way you got into our house was a garage, and we'd set the garage up all spooky like. But once you open the door, like, it would blare scary music and strobe lights, and sometimes, you know, those firecrackers that I got that you pull apart and they blow up.
Yep.
We tie those to all the doors that everybody have to go through,
So
and then
cool.
somebody be dressed up as Freddy Krueger coming out from around the corner. I mean, we really got into it. My mother was horribly into decorating, so our house was like next level with lights for all the holidays.
That's so cool. See, I didn't do any of that kind of stuff until I was older, like the haunted houses or the haunted hay rides or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really do much of that when I was a kid. Like, it was about trick-or-treating, and that was pretty much it. Like, we had that parade through our cul-de-sac, like I said, you know, like that kind of kicked off Halloween, and that was kind of like the neighborhood party, but it wasn't like anything crazy like that. That's a lot of fun. So, yeah, if you guys have anything, put it in the comments, too. I wanted to finish by talking about some of the traditions around the world, because not everywhere celebrates Halloween. A lot of people, especially us Americans, we think, oh, everybody celebrates Halloween and Christmas and stuff like that. I know for a fact Australia could give two shits.
Really?
Yeah, they do not care about Halloween. They think we're silly for doing
Probably
it.
because somebody comes knocking on their door, they shoot them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they have enough scary shit in Australia that's trying to eat them.
Yeah, no.
Like, they don't
You're not
need-
going to wander around in the streets at night. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. But probably one of the most famous that everybody knows about is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Mexico and Latin America, November 1st and 2nd. The dead are celebrated. It's not just about, oh, the dead are coming back. It is a celebration. It's like all of our ancestors are coming back and are able to walk the earth this day, and we are able to not only celebrate them, but we are able to feel their spirit, feel their presence, and honor them, and have an incredibly cool and colorful party.
And drink tons
do
of
it.
tequila.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. And so people put altars up in their homes that honor all of their deceased loved ones. They visit their graves. They have parties in the streets. It's an incredible
I'd like to
time.
be there for that.
Me too. And I know I've said this before in random other things that we've talked about, but one of the greatest depictions of it, if you guys haven't seen it yet, and it gives you all the feels,
Oh, yeah.
is Coco. If you
It's so
haven't-
good.
If you haven't watched the Pixar movie Coco, go check it out. It does a really good job with that whole tradition, and really kind of teaches you if you've never really known a lot about it, which is really cool. Another one I heard about is in Japan. There is this thing called Kawasaki Halloween Parade, which takes place on October 28th. 4,000 costume participants come and take part in the largest parade in Japan. And it's so big that there are strict rules and guidelines for this parade. You can't just show up and be in it. You have to apply at least 2 months in advance, and there's an application fee just to be in this parade.
Wow.
Yes, and I believe they cut it off at 4,000.
Wow. Look at some of those costumes. I see a gremlin back there. You see the gremlin
Yeah.
back there? That's so good.
Yeah,
Or is that a Furby? I can't.
It's
I can't
who
tell.
knows? In Japan, it's probably both. And a third thing we don't even know about. But that looks like a lot of fun and a lot of crazy stuff. And finally, in the Philippines, there's a tradition called, and I'm gonna get this wrong, Pangangalawala. Pangangalawala.
Sure.
Where children in the Philippines go door to door singing songs and asking for prayers for those stuck in purgatory. And most times they are dressed in costume while they're doing it. So it's a much more reverence. We as Americans, we've used this as kind of like, let's buy a bunch of candy and
Let's
see
outdo the neighbors.
how slutty we can get with our costume.
Yeah.
And let's
How
outdo
much
the-
can I drink?
Yeah, but
Eat all the fucking candy.
it's much more about reverence around the world. I did find one final little tiny one in Britain. I didn't know about this, but I thought this was kind of cool. I might actually do this next year. In Britain, there's a tradition where at the stroke of midnight on Halloween, you turn off all the lights and you sit quietly for a couple minutes in your place to invite the dead to make contact with you.
In
That's-
Britain?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an older tradition, but
Let's
I
do
guess
it tonight.
people. Yeah, right. That's kind of cool. Is there anything? And this is kind of a broad situation, and if you guys can chime in on the comments yourself as well. But has anything really spooky ever happened to you on Halloween?
On Halloween. No, but a lot of spooky things have happened to me.
Oh yes, we both have lived in apartments that have been haunted. That's for sure. And I was trying to think about it before the show as well. If anything on Halloween has ever been spooky, and other than like maybe those Bloody Mary type scenarios, I don't think there's nothing that really stands out. Like, oh my God, that was.
No, I mean, I remember one time I was trick-or-treating with my cousin as a kid, and there was one of those people out in the front yard dressed as a scarecrow, but
Yeah.
it was really a person. But, like, I got all the way up to this dude, and I was, like, trying to figure out if he was real or not. I remember feeling his face, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's actually warm. And that's when he jumped out and scared me, and it was, yeah, that was scary.
That's
But
scary.
nothing phenomenal, nothing crazy.
Well, I mean, I didn't see anything. One Halloween when we were kids, we went to this small graveyard that was near like where we grew up. It was like one of those like Revolutionary War graveyards. There's
Yeah.
only like a couple gravestones, and like, we
Yeah.
hung out there and everything, and just the trees cracking and like being among the tombstones by yourself as a kid, with other kids and stuff like that. That was freaky as hell. We ran out of there. Like, we stayed there for like a couple minutes. We're like, okay, we're done.
Okay.
I didn't see anything, but it was.
I'm
it was
not
still-
scared. Let's leave now.
It was still kind of creepy, but yeah, if there's anything that creepy happened to you guys, leave it in those comments. And I hope you guys all have a happy Halloween because it is a magical time. It's a magical time of the year, but it is like it brings so many different feelings than other holidays where you got, Christmas or Thanksgiving or
Everything's always
Easter.
cheerful and bright and
Yeah.
like, yay, let's love each other and be. No, this is like, let's get scared.
yeah, let's get scared. Let's revere the dead. Let's honor the dead. It's pretty.
And kill.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
All right, guys, you've been asking for it, and we announced it on a couple shows way back when and teased it, and everybody got really excited about it. I just want to let you know, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow, Thursday, tomorrow, this is going to go on sale, and it's super limited. It is our limited edition Valhalla Java mug right here with the original, the OG medallion on it, and I'll put up good pictures in the show so you guys can see it. 500 of these. That's it. Limited edition. This plus an incredible photo print from photographer Dustin Jack, who is on the show this week. This whole thing, the print and the mug, $75, and proceeds go to help benefit St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And that's because that is one of Zach Wild's favorite charities, also Dustin Jack's as well. It's one of ours as well, and that's why we love doing stuff with Zach and helping out this charity, and we thought this was a really cool way to do it. It's that old school mug with that mustard glaze and this incredible print that literally you can hear the rock and roll coming off this print.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Sounded like you moaning.
It's we're really excited about it, guys. It goes on sale tomorrow. This is a charity mug release, and just so you understand, when we do a charity mug release, subscribers do not get early access. We don't send out a text message. It is first come, first serve basis.
And the reason is because we want to open that up to all the supporters of that charity, not just our fan base. We want to make sure the vast majority of people who are concerned about, St. Jude's Children's Hospital can have the ability to get this, as well as all of our fans.
And that's why we do that with every single charity release we do. In fact, there was a lot of questions recently when we did the Special Olympics mug, which benefited the Special Olympics. People were like, well, how come the subscribers didn't get the early access? The same thing. We wanted people who actively are fans of Special Olympics, who contribute to Special Olympics, to be able to get this piece of merchandise to help support their favorite charity that might not have known about it because they might not have been a subscriber of the coffee.
Right.
So we're giving everybody a fair shake. First come, first serve. 500 of them. When they're gone, they're gone. And like I said, not only do you get the cool mug, but you get this print that you can frame, put on your wall. And, a Dustin Jack print. That's a pretty special thing.
It's super high quality print, too. This is no postcard. This is next level, high graphic, high def. Awesome photo.
And make sure you listen to the podcast episode 98 with photographer Dustin Jack. We talk all about this incredible charity mug giveaway or mug sale as well, and also the print. And we learn, which is really cool, that Zach Wild himself picked this shot. Dustin gave him a bunch of awesome shots of Zach on stage, being Zach, and was like, you, Father Zach, you pick the one that you want to include. And so just so you guys can all know, this is Zach Wild approved Zach Wild. It's a Zach Wild approved Zach Wild.
The best Zach Wild possible.
Yes. So we're really excited about that. So tomorrow.
Also tomorrow.
Ooh, I got it.
We're releasing our Death Wish crew neck long sleeve t-shirt. I think this is the first time we've ever done a long sleeve t-shirt. You can see down the side of the sleeve, World's Strongest Coffee, and the front, Death Wish logo, and the back, bigger Death Wish logo. Pretty awesome. Right up the middle there.
Same material as our t-shirts, so they're super comfy. They fit the same too, so if you guys are wondering about those sizings, this will be a product we'll have for a little bit. This isn't like a mug release. Like, it's released tomorrow, but if you can't get it tomorrow, it'll be there for a little bit.
Yeah. Do you wear long sleeve t-shirts?
I do. In fact, I have that, and I love it.
I'm not a big long sleeve t-shirt person. I don't know.
Being in upstate New York, especially this time of year, November, December, I like having a long sleeve t-shirt because I usually like to dress in layers. I'm a smaller individual, in case you haven't noticed. So layers help. So I like.
Where's your magic now, skinny boy?
Yeah, right. So I like having the option of usually like a long sleeve and then maybe like a zip over hoodie over that, so I can kind of peel layers off if I get too hot or put layers on.
I'm usually just good with a t-shirt and a hoodie and a jacket over that, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. But I know
I got that Viking blood.
Yeah,
I
know a lot of people do like the long sleeves, and I think you're right. I don't think we've ever done one like this before. I love that it says it down the side.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad. And like I said, I've had one now for a couple weeks, and I've gotten compliments on it every time I've worn it.
Awesome.
So people are really excited to get it. I hope you guys are excited too. Comes out tomorrow. And, if you're feeling super frisky, tomorrow you can get the super limited Zach Wild mug and print and a crew neck. All together, long sleeve. All together, that'd be an incredible purchase.
That would be an incredible purchase. And speaking of incredible purchases, it's been a while since I've seen a mug sale like our Halloween mug sale.
Wow. I hope you guys all got it. If you didn't, we're sorry, but
there's not even any here. I tried to buy one. I personally do not have one of those mugs.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It broke on us.
You broke it, Jeff.
I broke it. But yeah.
Jeff, fix it! What are we going to do without our TV? It's Halloween. It's haunted, Jeff. It's haunted. No, but seriously, guys, we can't appreciate you enough for being such a supporter of our company and these mugs that we do.
Yeah.
And it went like crazy. So everybody's asking, what about the next mug, Jeff?
And you guys know, we've said it on this show. For you guys who have been really paying attention, you know what the next mug is. We've teased it for months and months and months now. It is the Space Oddity mug. And I want to run down everything with you guys one more time because I know there's lots of questions on our show, lots of questions coming into customer service, lots of questions on social media about our mug releases. I just want to show you real quick.
Oh, man. What do you got, a graph? Oh, no. You got a mug.
So this isn't the actual color scheme. This is the color scheme of the mug that we released when we shot our coffee into space, and it's currently on the International Space Station. We had only a handful of these made, so we could give one to our astronaut friend, Nicole Stott. I could take one down to the launch, and we could have some just for promotional materials, and we did a contest with them as well. The actual mug, the glaze is even cooler, guys.
I can't wait to see it.
It'll
be in tomorrow.
It's so cool. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of perspective. This mug is basically like the Halloween mug we just released.
Yeah, it's the same style.
It's a 14-ounce mug. This beast is a 20-ouncer. That is humongous. And this is going to be released very, very soon. And I want to run down exactly what that means. So, first of all, to find out the best way to get a mug, you guys are already winning the game. You're watching the show. We try to give you the lowdown on mug releases before anybody else in the company does. So you're already ahead of the game by listening and watching the show. On top of that, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter because that comes out every week, and that's going to give you even more, information on our existing mug releases. Finally, the best way to find out about mugs is to subscribe to our text list. Text mugs to 484848. That's 48 3 times. Text mugs to that, and you'll be added to that list. And every time that we release a mug, the actual release of the mug, you'll get a text message saying that the mug is out and with a link right to buy it. And I want to stress that again. It is not when the mug is released for subscriber only. It is when the mug is released to the general public on the release day. The way that mugs are released here at Death Wish Coffee is pretty easy, and you get used to it if you're a mug lifer. First and foremost, we do a golden ticket day. That's coming up really soon.
I can't wait.
Really soon.
I haven't even seen the glaze on
me
that
either.
yet.
So,
which is also coming tomorrow. We're going to see that.
So the golden ticket day, which is coming really soon, means on that day, every single purchase made on deathwishcoffee.com will have a chance to win a super special variant glaze of the mug that's about to be released. This is going to be the Space Oddity mug. Now, that being said, you might win the mug, but making a purchase that day, no matter what the purchase is, you're going to get a free gift, which is a patch of that medallion in your order. So you'll get this cool patch for free. So
Coolest patch this year so far,
my God.
by the way.
So you're already winning. Then, after the golden ticket day, usually a little over a week later.
A couple weeks, yeah.
Yep. Is the actual release of the mug. Now, on that release day, that's when you get the text message. That's when we release the mug to the masses, and then they go like wildfire. Like that Halloween mug release, it was out in less than 24 hours. It was crazy.
By 9 o'clock at night, it was pretty much gone.
But one of the biggest perks of being a subscriber to coffee from deathwishcoffee.com is that you get day early access to mug releases, not our charity mug releases like the Valhalla Java charity mug or the Special Olympics. Those are first come, first serve. But the normal Deneen limited edition ones, you get 1 day early subscriber access.
Damn.
So that means you can not only order it a day early, you're going to get it in the mail earlier than anybody who's just ordering it from the general public.
And you can post it on Instagram and everything?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's exciting, guys. And this is so close. I can't stress it enough. If you thought the Halloween mug was cool, this is cooler. If you thought the Halloween mug sold out too quick, this is going to sell out quick.
It's going to be quicker.
It's going to be bonkers because people have been asking not only for the Space Oddity mug, because everybody loves space, and everybody wants it on a mug, but everybody's been wanting that bigger mug. We've done a couple smaller ones lately, and this one is the biggest mug we've ever done. I think only the Dropkick Murphys mug might rival this mug. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's close. So that's coming really soon. Get ready for that golden ticket day. Then get ready for the mug release of our super awesome Space Oddity mug. And tomorrow, there's a bunch of stuff for you guys to get excited for, as it is with that Valhalla Java limited edition release, with proceeds going to benefit St. Jude's Children's Hospital charity, along with this cool print from Dustin Jack. And we're going to stop it there. We'll give you some new stuff on next week's update. And that's the show, guys. Thank you so much for watching the show, for sharing, for commenting, for liking, for spending your Halloween with us. And it was a lot of fun being in costume.
Great. Oh, yeah. It's not hot at all in here.
It's super hot under these lights. But hopefully you guys have a wonderful Halloween. And we'll be back next week with another show and another chance to win one final time. If you want to follow Dustin and myself, it's real easy. It's right at the bottom of that screen. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And don't forget to tune into tomorrow's brand new podcast episode with photographer Dustin Jack. And we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Cheers!